Okay, y'all. Story time. I should call this my story time code because it seemed like my past couple videos when I was like, yo, story time, I seen to have on this code though. But you know what I mean? I got the booms. So, I had seen this, I put them up because, I got to stay trying to have something on. I've always been like this. But, look, let me tell y'all about this. This is about how, how people say that like Turfn changed. You know what I mean? And some people say like, my gen and some of us was responsible for it. I ain't gonna say one of my homies that said it, but you know what I mean? He was like, nigga, that's y'all fault. He said this years ago in like 2006 when he got out. But, okay, so you know how you got one generation of the niggas that start turfing, right? This is like, you got the legends, like the A1s and Lucas, shout out to Lucas and Price and all them. You got the people that they were like baby first gen because they was good. They was known, but they was like below them. That's like, y'all understand, like it didn't matter what age you were if you started in a certain time. So although like Price and A1 and Lucas and all them was like the niggas that was really, really known and like you pointing to them, they still was people in that time that was dancing already. They just probably wasn't as saucy as them or known at first. Like Jack and Dage and like Stinker from the West and Lil Day Day and Bree and a lot of them was raw already that time too. They just younger. Who I know I'm missing some niggas. Keith from the north. Keith from the 60s. I'm not talking about Keith from the east. Tank. Shit, like there was already raw niggas. Then there was like the people that people would call the second gen, which was like some people my age who you wasn't raw at that time. You just probably was starting to dance, or you danced, but you just wasn't raw or known. So you didn't get raw until after they was already like the wheels were turning. So my point of saying this is when that started happening, like by the time I started getting like known and shit from going to functions. Me and Shep going to shout out to DJ Marcus, all the DJ Marcus parties and all this type of shit. You talking about 2001, 2002, right? But by that time, people don't know how old Turfn is. By that time, some of the first generators, they was already doing other things, and some of these niggas going to jail, whatever. So around that time, a lot of the original style was just straight gutter. They did pantomiming and shit like that, but like they used to do like sports, like play baseball or shit like pretend they running from cops, shooting dice, like having sex or something, put a condom out, put it on, that type of stuff. But they wasn't taking it too far. It still was like feet work, smooth, you know what I mean? Boom, boom, all that type of stuff. Use a lot of hand, and they kept it simple. So us, like, you gotta like me, Shell, so some of my partners that I danced with, Ligon and Sterl and all them, we started taking that aspect of the pantomiming and start doing more with it. So what we started doing was like, instead of like specific shit like that, we started doing like other shit to where we was trying to see if people can guess what we're doing. So instead of somebody be playing a baseball, I'm not doing that. I'm waking up in the morning like this, sliding to the closet, opening the door. This is why we got good at miming position. Pulling out something off the coat rack, pulling my pants off, closing the door, boom, smiling, then putting my pants on, then putting the belt on and like zipping it and then sliding. Or taking my belt off and like sliding, twirling it around. We start trying to see if we can get people to notice what we were doing. So that's how that shit started transforming. So all of a sudden you got us starting to look different because now you got to really pay attention to a dance and see what we're doing. It's like, damn, they're doing hella shit. They're turning on water, putting buckets under the water, throwing it on the floor and sliding on it. Like we start taking that shit to a whole nother level, right? So we got really good at that. Dav was really naturally good. This is literally Dav's story at body movement because he just had like, I don't know, he got like arms. We used to make fun because his arms, he could do weird shit because he's flexible as hell. Back in the day, he was really flexible and he had his own like style. So Dav, when we started doing that like hybrid type shit, we start separating ourselves. And like Dav was like the first nigga to like almost hit like ultra instinct over all of us. We was all kind of on the same style, But I remember one time after we had met, Nump and everything, right? And we had did something, and then January was coming around. So I think this was like October or November. And we was going to do that first Baby Bash video we did with Akon, that Don't Look No Further, that Baby I'm Back. So we had an audition. We went to go do to Vallejo and drove for this audition, right? My ex-wife drove us, right? I picked up Dav and shit, right? And we driving. Dav was in the car, quiet as hell. We ain't seen Dav for months, right? We were already getting money, doing things with the Federation, right? But it was like a break to where maybe it was like 2-3 months we didn't, like, Dav was tucked away. We know what it means when you tucked away, especially me. You know, when you tucked away, it's like, bro, you in that hyperbolic time chamber and you really laughing. And you can always tell when somebody is onto something because they quiet or they have this quiet confidence or a smirk. Because I done did it too. Just stepped away and then came back and people looking at me crazy. So this whole time while we driving to Vallejo to get filmed, right? Because they filmed us. This nigga Dad was quiet as hell. We in the car, you know me, I'm cracking jokes and shit. Me and Shell, we jokesters. We making jokes and shit. Dad kind of like, we like, I'm looking at Dad like, man, what's wrong with this nigga, right? Dad sitting back like, yeah, man, slops. You know, Dad with the mumbling to himself and shit. But nah, so this nigga Dad, right? He was fitted up to, I never forget the coat he had on when he was like, he had like the black jacket. We called shit them hidden coats. But he was quiet. I was like, bro, why is this nigga so much like, he in the zone right now? So I knew something was up because when we stopped, usually, like, you know, it's like, bro, you know, you warm up and shit like this and all that, you know? This nigga, they came, we was at the park and they had the cameras. He was like, nah, blood, I'll go first. Right? We were looking like, huh? You go first? And we like, bro, we can't just turn the music on and dance? He was like, nah. And he was like, watch. Right? I'm like, okay, watch what, right? Man, I kid you not. This was the first time we was like, oh man, this nigga done completed the form. Because the first song this nigga danced to was, I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. And it's the way he put everything together was wild. I know this footage is out here somewhere. But it's like he had slowed down the dancing, right? And put it together to where the body, where the movements, right? He replaced all the transitions with regular like body moves into the movements. But that's the type of hype he was on. So instead of just like fuck with it, pantomiming and shit, he was like, man, it's hard to explain. He had found a nice way to put like the flexible moves and the weird shit in transitions in between the moves. So it's like he sat away and he like, this nigga practice. And he used to be like a harder, faster dancer, like way faster. And he slowed the fuck down. And his shit was just put together. Like, this is the first time we seen boxing. Man, this nigga like lift the leg up, tapped it, boom, did a cliffhanger, pause, put the leg down slowly, start sliding. I was like, me and Shell were both looking like, damn, bro. How the fuck did he just hit another level like this? This is the first time I looked at Davin. I was like, God damn, we gotta go practice, bro. Because this nigga literally has surpassed us like that. This nigga literally went in the cut and surpassed niggas. This is a true story, bro. I'm gonna get, when Shep do the interview, I'm gonna get Shep on here. And if you ever, DJ Lean, who else? Bash, somebody, one of them gotta get the tape. Because we also met Tron and Cam from Vallejo, Tron from Vallejo. Cam kind of looked like Mac Dre. But Dav was the first one, like I said, on some Goku shit, to like go Ultra Instinct and perfect the style of that other. But then after that, all the first gens, they used to see me and Shep and Dav and Sterling be like, man, they on that other shit. They on that other shit. So that other is like, this is where all this shit spawns from. It just spawns from a little bit of transformation. So realistically, we the first hybrids of the shit. So there's no way I can never get mad at dance changing and people doing new things now because, bro, we was there first. So shout out to Dav though, because I'm never gonna forget this story, and I will find that footage, you know.